From KPRC Local 2, this is Beyond the Headlines.
Good morning, I'm Kim Davis. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Thanks so much for joining us. From time to time, we bring in experts who share information to help you grow your career, your business, and or your brand. Well, today is one of those days. Karen McCullough is a baby boomer. She's a branding expert, keynote speaker, author, and consultant. So I know you recently did a seminar that talked about this Socialtunities, and I thought it'd be great for the Beyond the Headlines audience because, one, I just think the word is cool.
We took the two words, social media and opportunities, and we married them, and we came up with Socialtunities. And we think that hopefully it will stick, and people will begin to see and understand that there's power behind social media, opportunity behind social media. We're excited.
Now, here's one thing that I think is really cool. A baby boomer who haven't, the baby boomers haven't all embraced this social media piece. Gen Yers, it's really a part of the culture. How did you marry the two together, and why do it that way?
We have to, I think that's where I come in. I'm the persuasive, I'm the salesperson, and I think that if you can get baby boomers in a room and you can talk to them in a very gentle language and start to show them the possibilities that they can grow their brand, they can grow their business, they can make more money if they really learned how to use this tool. And the tool is, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, these are just tools. And so for me, as a baby boomer and as a speaker, I spoke on branding, but about 3 years ago, I started understanding social media is where it's going. I really can't teach you the technology, but I can persuade you and I can get you excited. I needed the technology. And so for me, I searched out a Gen Y. And so when we put our efforts and our talents together, we can present a program that's exciting, it's innovative, and it's technology.
And most importantly, it's not scary, because that's one of the things that happens is when you hear technology,
Yes.
I mean, sometimes even I am like, okay, I can do the basics, but moving beyond that is a challenge. And so the key is, like in anything else you do, is to get the right training.
Right. And I just heard the other day on the news, someone came up with a topic, and it was, and I hate to say this because it's kind of scary, but it was, there are two kinds of Americans. Those that will grow and learn social media, and those that will be left behind. And when I heard that, I realized we're onto something. Right. This is more than just a trend. This is really a transformation of how we are going to be getting our information, how we're going to be marketing. And baby boomers need to hear this and understand it, as do traditionalists who are older than baby boomers.
And it's not too late, right? If you haven't gotten into you can still get involved. And one of the things, too, is we talk about, you think about business, but also for careers. I mean, I know that in our industry, the whole social media piece is very important. Stations and papers and media outlets want you to be on social media to talk about shows coming up, stories. So it isn't even just about a business, it's your career can benefit from this.
LinkedIn just went public. I mean, that was when I heard that, I went, whoa. If you think about that, LinkedIn is going to now be this kind of universal online way to present your resume. But it's not going to be your daddy's resume or your grandpa's resume. It's going to be this new way of presenting yourself, branding yourself. So whether you are sitting behind a desk working for someone or making those desks and being an entrepreneur, you need to understand you have a brand. And that this social media thing, is going to help you get that brand message out to the right people.
So there are some who think, well, I have a job that I'm pleased with. Why would I be on LinkedIn?
Well, it's a plan B.
Okay.
No one has job security now. I don't care who you are. But on top of that, it's a great way for you to build your level of expertise, to start reaching out to other firms and companies, not that you're even looking for employment, but so that they know who you are. So in the event there is a layoff or something, or you want to move up in an organization and maybe yours isn't the best place, you have options. So really, LinkedIn just provides you with more options and a more viable network.
And I guess, as you're building that, I am an expert in this thing that I do, people know where to find you, and you know where to find other people.
Right.
Right, and if you think, I like what Crystal said about, it's also LinkedIn a way for you to move up in an organization. Soon, we're going to be using LinkedIn not just to get our message out, but for me to learn about you. So I can go in and do the research on you, so it's kind of a two-way street, So if I'm a supervisor and I'm looking for that next placement because I know we're going to have an opening, I can kind of go and read the LinkedIn the resumes, or whatever you'd like to call it, the entries about the people that are in this company.
In the break, we talked a little bit about a few things, but one of the topics we want to make sure we cover is branding. We hear that a lot. What does it mean? What should we know about this branding thing?
Who wants to start?
Well, you're the branding expert.
Okay, I'll start. I love it. Think about this. Think about before social media, okay? You walk into a room, we look at you, we see you, we size you up. First of all, it's visual. Then we begin to have a conversation with you. And as we're interacting with you, we're forming a brand, okay? We see you. But online, your brand is very different. Online, it's about your photograph. It's about what you post. It's about the words you say about you. And so you have this ability to kind of really reinvent yourself, recreate yourself. Maybe you're not crazy about this little tummy right now. Well, we're not going to see that on social media. So what you have to do is really decide, what is it that I want you to remember about me this week, next week, you know, and I want to be able to project that through my status, through my photographs, through the things that I put on social media. It's not just who you know, it's who knows you. And so we want to present a brand that's attractive, that is exciting and interesting, and I want you to come to me. And so the way we do that is by having a strategy for what we put out there.
So there's a strategy, or there should be a strategy in all of these different platforms, right?
Right. Thinking of, yes.
So, I think, like for me, it was the longest before I got on Facebook, and I got on and I got it, it made sense. And I'm on Twitter and I tweet, but I have not mastered how you get a lot of people to follow you or pay attention. There's a strategy to that.
Right.
And so it's really about understanding and learning those things, and I guess realizing that it's important to have a strategy with that as you do with anything else.
You know, as we're talking, sometimes this right now could scare people. Okay, I've got to do this, I've got to learn that, I've got to learn how to tweet, I've got to have a status on Facebook. Oh, what I think we want to share is that this is a process, and it takes a long time. And as we're talking, it's kind of like we're giving you water out of a fire hose, you know, all this information. We want you just to start and do little bits. But the biggest piece is before you start, before you put that first status up there on Facebook, look at your picture. Make sure it's the picture that says who you are. You know, for me, I have a lot of comedy in my keynotes, okay? So I'm not going to put up a real uptight professional picture. Mine is going to reflect a little bit of humor. I make sure that my posts have a little bit of humor in them.
Because that's who you are.
Because that's who I want you to know that I am. So that when you hire me to come in, you know that my programs are always going to have a little twinge of humor to them. Now, I'm not a comic, but I am humorous. I think you've got to begin to really pull through the words. Who are you?
So you have to first understand that before you can really project that to somebody else.
Right, and it takes a while for you to develop that. I mean, developing a bio that you're going to use on all your social media profiles, uniformly, the exact same bio, except for Twitter, which is a little shorter. Figuring out what you want people to know about you, and really slimming it down, too, because you don't want to have a paragraph.
Right. We'll take a short break. We're going to come back and talk more about this branding piece in Socialtunities. We'll be right back.